DungeonParty.com. So these are dice packs here with a multitude of different dice. Let's just for the moment use just 4, which will be the 4, the 6, the 10, and the 20-sided.
If you have too much detail, then it's hard to move based on the dice flow. The dice determine the whole game. That's the key difference between how I run a dungeon and how most game masters will run them. Most game masters will predetermine all possibilities, and then you just step through it based on the dice roll. I allow the dice roll to change what's occurring. Did we end up with 8 teams?
8, yeah.
And have the teams spoken for the different characters? This is definitely more to scale.
Yeah. There we go.
You know what? What's funny is that not only are these guys teaming up, but they also have folks at home, like they're not alone at their computers.
Right.
So they have to also decide what to do.
Exactly. Yeah, this is a level of cooperation undreamt of.
Oh my God.
In case you're wondering, this is not atypical for the very first meeting. We've had dungeons that took 4 to 6 hours just getting the characters set up. Because normally what you would do is you would roll dice to figure out your character's attributes. The wisdom, intelligence, the vitality, charisma. You'd roll to find out what their relative values were. Typically what you would do if you rolled high wisdom, you might opt to be a cleric, because having high wisdom is very useful as a cleric, because it makes your rolls that much more likely to be positive. Whereas if you had high dexterity, that would be an attribute that would make you think, well, maybe I should be a thief or a ranger. Because with high dexterity, your bows tend to hit, or you tend to do well when you roll to see if you pick a lot. But we're not going through that in this case.
Yeah, you might want to review these before we go through the things. Claude is our chief dungeon master. He has really spent years mastering the art.
These are very nice.
They'll work. It's a black curtain here, which is passable.
PO1, that's the name for this whole little package.
Yeah, Dungeon Party 01.
See,
that's a year's worth of work. Right?
Yeah, because you're living in a different era. Back in the 70s when we were playing, this would be a night's work.
Yeah.
Getting through this would take us about a night.
Yeah, it would be one night, right, yeah. But today,
no.
2009, we're talking a year.
Yeah. So we're going to try to do this online?
Yeah. And what I thought I'd do is start
the map. So if you have not printed the map or haven't even found it on the website yet, don't worry, because you don't really require the map. The map is just an aid. And actually, since it's all laid out in front of you, it's a bit of a cheat. Normally you wouldn't see the whole map laid out. You'd only know where you are and where you've been. In this particular case, you can assume that you've been given this map by a townie, and they've sent you into this place on a mission. Unfortunately for you, you were a bit too drunk at the time that you were given the map to appreciate the fact that it would have been nice to have been told what the mission was. So you've got a map, you think it leads somewhere, you're optimistic that it might be to treasure, but you don't really have any clue. So being the adventurer that you are, when you sober up in the morning, you trundle off with your dungeon party to have at this, whatever it is. It's all in the pronoun. So when I say you have to decide what you're going to do, unfortunately, that's not just you, the singular, it's you, the plural. So see if you can come to some kind of consensus as to what you're going to do as you stand out in the early morning, slightly hungover, in front of this door.
You've only spent the last couple of hours setting up this game of Dungeon Party. And so once we have it set up, I want to point out, once it's set up, it is set up. It's done. You have all that setup done.
Correct. You don't have to redo it.
So the advantage to you is that that you will have done all your setup, and then you're ready to roll.